What is life as an European immigrant moving from Spain to the UK?
I think that was probably one of the most difficult periods of my life. You have 20 friends, 25 different plans to do. I was bored. Oh, they have a job and I don't. What am I going to do with my life?
There's so many immigrants in this world that are not aware that they're immigrants.
Yes, but I do not think about it that much.
Is it really an immigrant or is it an expatriate?
Like a scale, like the less you are similar to the culture you are going, the more immigrant you are.
But do you feel like you'll have identified more as an immigrant post-Brexit?
Maybe, but then there's also the bad side. People from 2 years after I graduated had to start paying the university fees.
Tapas or Sunday roast?
Obviously, Spanish food is 1000%
Better than British.
Well, I would say it's the best in the world, but I want to try fufu.
Who dresses better?
No, Spanish. There's some English looks that are not the best.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Chronicles of an Immigrant podcast, and it is more in the building. Hello. So today it's going to be a different dynamic. We're going to have our first European guest on the podcast. Say hey!
Hello.
And we're going to talk about what is life as an European immigrant moving from Spain to the UK. And we're going to talk about some dynamics. Is it really an immigrant or is it an expatriate? We're going to talk about that and see what that looks like. So let's go over to meet him. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. Thank you.
I'm good. I'm not too bad. The weather today is confused.
Well, we're in the UK for a reason.
Raining, sunny, windy, all in one day. So do you want to introduce yourself to everybody? What's your name? Where are you from?
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here.
Thank you for
I'm a
coming.
very big fan. We and me work together, so
yes.
I know what she's been doing. My name is Guillermo. I'm from Spain, from the north of Spain, a region called Asturias, which is very beautiful, by the way.
Okay.
I came here when I was 19 years old to the UK. Studied in a university here, and then started work. So.
And why did you move from Spain to the UK at 19?
Well, I was supposed to come when I was 18. The thing is, I had an opportunity to go to the US to study a year in university playing tennis, and I did that first. The experience was very good, but then I decided I had an opportunity to come here to a very big and good university,
and what
with a lot of
that?
partying.
Well,
Lancaster University.
Hey!
Yeah.
We have a lot of Lancaster alumni in the building. Yeah.
Worked for a reason,
Yes.
all that money was useful.
Yeah.
So my mom took us, my mom and my dad, both my family, I had the opportunity to go to a British school, which I'm very grateful for. And so in my head, there was always that need of going to the UK. My sister came here first to study in a London university, and so that's why I decided to come here.
And then when you came to the UK, how did it feel different from Spain?
Well, certainly by the weather. Culturally, it's a very different country compared to Spain. We're more Mediterranean, more warm. Even though I love people here, it's just different the way, people live their lives. I think, although I also think that situation has changed a lot since COVID. So even in Spain, things are different. People are less warm or less happy, I would say. Depends.
You moved when you were 19. What year was that?
That was 2019, and then in 2020, COVID happened. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. So now, when you came to the UK, apart from the weather, did you feel like there was a bit of cultural shock, or it didn't feel like that?
Cultural shock, obviously, when I've traveled to another country, it's completely different. Say Morocco, say Turkey, obviously that the cultural shock is bigger. But in terms of, as I said before, how people live, it's true that I went to university, so I feel like it's completely different going to university than starting to be an adult and a work life. So in university, I surrounded myself with friends. Most of them were Spanish, Portuguese, from the Mediterranean area. It's true that I also had some English friends, but But yeah, I wouldn't say it was a big shock. I was in uni, just to enjoy myself, trying to learn as much as possible. And I think I did a good job. So.
Okay, so after uni, you then stayed back in the UK.
Yes, I stayed. Yeah, I went back home for a month as soon as I finished uni, and I had a job in Leeds. And yeah, I moved to Leeds by myself. I think that was probably one of the most difficult periods of my life.
Why do you think so?
Because I came straight from uni and went to Leeds, which I didn't know anyone. In working my first job. I lived in a place which was not the best. I mean, in terms of like the house. So I feel like it was a big shock for me. It helped me shape how I am today. But yeah, I would say it was probably the most difficult year of my life. You come out of uni, everything is good. You live in a bubble. You have 20 friends, 25 different plans to do in a day, and then I was bored. I felt like, what am I doing now? I started going to the gym. It's true that it's also my fault, but it's not like I'm a person that does not try to, I don't know, to meet people or to do the best. But it was a big shock.
Because also you're a very active person. Like, you have a very bubbly personality. You like to feed off people. So then you go to Leeds and like, what's going on here?
No, I didn't like it. And to be fair, because I didn't like it, I was living all the time. Every weekend I was going to London to visit my girlfriend, or traveling and spending all my money. And just because I was not happy where I was, which I don't know, if I could go back, maybe I would have, I don't know, planned a bit more. When you're coming out of uni, you just start applying, LinkedIn, try and get a job as soon as possible. There's this competition with your other friends to see, oh, they have a job and I don't, what am I going to do with my life? So maybe I should have, I don't know, because as soon as they gave me the job, I was like, okay, I'm going to Leeds.
But the good thing about it is, at least you are here where you are now.
Exactly, yeah.
But my own question now is, when you hear the word immigrant, what comes to your mind?
Well,
if you had to define it, what comes to your mind when you're immigrant?
If I have to define it, I feel like there's, well, obviously, as you know, because you are more of an expert of the topic than me, there's different types of immigrants, To me, an immigrant like ourselves, someone that comes for a better opportunity, or they think that it's a better opportunity, because obviously you cannot live two lives at the same time.
100%.
But I would say, in most of the cases, people are fighters, non-complacent, want to do better, want to experience, are people that feel like it's not enough being at home. So, but then there's also the bad side, and especially nowadays, how everyone is against each other and how the media puts immigrants, like there's a different.
Do you think that the media makes immigrants look like a certain way? Like, when they paint the narratives of immigrants, do you think that the media just puts it on certain people?
Yes. However, I also think, I don't know, the big portion of people, the majority of the people may have that conception before meeting someone that is an immigrant, but as soon as they get to know you and they, okay, this is a normal person, he's a hardworking man, he's a good person, all those concepts go away, and at least that's how I've experienced, myself.
So will you say that if you were to approach yourself, like if you were to identify yourself, will you identify yourself as an immigrant?
Yes, I would say so, but obviously, well, to be fair, the UK and Spain have always been against each other. I'm talking about the history in the past. So, but you see, like coming here, I'm literally, do I feel as an immigrant? Yes, but I do not think about it that much. You see what I mean? Like, it's not like a word that resonates in my mind all the time. I'm an immigrant because I feel I have the same right as any British, or the same right in terms of I came here, I studied, I've been 6 years, I surround myself in the culture, I try to be respectful and people to be respectful to me. So I don't know, it's not like I'm thinking all the time, not all, I'm an immigrant.
Because the thing about it is, as we said before, the media tries to portray immigrants in a certain way. Do you know what an immigrant is? An immigrant is somebody, if I define immigrant to you, an immigrant is somebody that has moved from one country to another country.
Yeah.
if I'm Nigerian, for instance, and if for instance, I move from Nigeria to, let's say, Morocco.
Yeah.
Morocco is an African country just like Nigeria. If I move from Nigeria to Morocco, I am an immigrant.
Of course.
Because I'm living in Nigeria. So I feel like, you say you move from Spain to the UK, you're an immigrant, you're just an European immigrant.
Exactly.
But the media has portrayed it to make it seem like an immigrant is only people that are dark-skinned or brown-skinned.
Yes.
But it's not always the case. I met somebody recently, and through LinkedIn, when I was talking about my immigrants and stuff, and she said, "Oh yes, I'm an immigrant. I moved from America to the UK." She's an immigrant, but because when there's a stereotype definition that people think that immigrants look certain way.
Yes. No, I agree with you.
That's why
I think
really
it's like a scale, like the less you are similar to the culture you are going, the more immigrant you are. For instance, the US and the UK share a lot of similar. So yeah, as you say, he's less of an immigrant, but actually he's the same. He's leaving his country to a new country.
That's just what immigration. That's what immigrants is, and one of the reasons why I invited you here, Guillermo, is that we're trying to change what the narratives of immigrants look like, and trying to teach people that immigrants are not certain people. An immigrant is just simply somebody that's moved from one country and is living in another country. That's what immigrants are.
Yeah, that's the definition.
That's why you don't necessarily, because the media has made us as portrayed it, you don't necessarily identify yourself as an immigrant because you don't see yourself as one.
Yeah, maybe it's that. No, I completely agree with you. You see, like, it's what you're saying. I haven't had that situation. I don't know, like...
You've not had those obstacles that...
Definitely
that
not.
people think, immigration comes with. You've not had that because when you came in, was it before Brexit?
It was, yes. So I haven't had to go through any, bureaucracy of why am I here or what am I doing or sending papers. I don't know anything about that.
Okay,
I just applied, came to uni. Obviously, I had to do the pre-settlement status thing and it was given to me, but I don't know anything about, the immigration law in the UK. I've always scanned my passport and gone through the door.
If you want to go somewhere, you travel somewhere, like there's no obstacles, whatever, nothing like that. And let's educate people what Brexit means. Yeah. Brexit means British exit. That means that when UK decided to leave the European Union, that's what Brexit means, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, before, when you came in 2019, the UK was still in the European Union.
I think they were everything had been approved. The thing that changed it didn't change in my year, but I think the year exactly I graduated from school, it was the year that Brexit had gone official. And the thing that really changed was I think people from 2 years after I graduated had to start paying the university fees like any international student does. To me, I had the, the student sponsorship, which is like university paid for the class, for the university fee, not the living fee that we had to pay from our own pockets. Thank you, mom and dad. No, I also worked, but...
Okay, so do you have friends now that came to the UK after Brexit?
I do have one friend, actually. I was yesterday with him and they have to sponsor him. So for him to change, because he was, I don't want to enter into details, but maybe changing jobs is a lot more difficult for him. Why? Because of the sponsorship requirement that...
So wait, I don't know if you have the answer to this question, but does he have to go through the same getting visa sponsorship like for me as a Nigerian will go through, or is it something entirely different?
I don't know the answer and I'm not certain about it, but I think yes. Like someone that comes now into the UK from Spain or any European country has to go through the same process of sponsorship. So, I wouldn't understand if it was different.
Yeah, so for instance, now let's put yourself in a scenario.
Yeah.
If, for instance, you were just moving from Spain to the UK post-Brexit, do you feel like you'll have identified more as an immigrant because you'll have faced the certain limitations of work?
Maybe. Not just certain limitation, but I would say also yeah, all the bureaucracy papers we were talking about. As I've been always very welcoming here, I've never felt like, it's literally crossing one door and I'm in the UK. Okay, this is home for me as well. So
Okay, fair enough. So, okay, now leaving this podcast now, I want you to really think about it, and I feel like we all have like a role to play in terms of correcting people as regards to the stereotype definition of immigrants. Stereotypes, like what people think that immigrants look like. So when you leave this place now,
yes,
what are you going to take from it in terms of when people ask you that are you an immigrant? What will you say?
I am. Yes.
I
am, yes, because
you don't sound confident enough.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
Like, am I going to go and reflect on that?
Yeah.
Would you're not confident in that? Like,
you see what I mean? I really don't. As I said before, it's not something that resonates in my head, immigrant or not immigrant. Me is either you work hard, respect others, and are part of the country you live in and want to be as happy as possible, and or not. So
like we had a guest recently, and he said something that he doesn't like to be identified with the word immigrant.
yeah, I saw that podcast. Yeah, great man.
Yeah?
Great man.
Yes, and is it because that the world and the media has painted immigrants to be certain people and look certain way that people don't feel like they want to resonate with the word? I always put an illustration as regards to who is the most famous. What do you like? Like, what do you like? Who's famous that you like?
Famous, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
I like.
And let's say, because Ronaldo is a very, is a footballer or whatever.
Yeah.
It's really, Okay, for instance, now, if in that context you want to identify yourself with Cristiano Ronaldo, because the perception you have of Cristiano Ronaldo is that Cristiano Ronaldo is a great person.
Yes.
He's a good footballer.
Yeah.
He's great, whatever.
Hardworking.
Who is a terrible footballer that you don't like? No, let's look.
Eh?
Who is a terrible, like...
I don't know. Maybe the ones that think that are better than anyone else.
Okay, don't let's mention names so they don't come for us.
No.
So,
or the Barcelona players. Those ones I don't like them.
You don't like. So those ones now, you won't want to identify yourself with those ones, because you don't like them.
Yeah.
Now that's how immigration, the word immigrant looks like. Like, because we feel like immigrants is a low word, we don't want to associate ourselves with that word. We don't see ourselves as it because it's negative. It feels like it's a negative word, But I'm here. My goal in life now is to change that definition and make people realize that there's so many immigrants in this world that are not aware that they're immigrants because the world has portrayed it in certain ways.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if you look at, for example, the US, it's built by immigrants. Literally, it's the prisoners from the UK that were sent there. And look at the economy they have built. So
the world, people will continue to migrate from one country to the other till the world ends. People will keep on moving and moving and moving and moving. Everybody's moving from different places. You said you went to Canada for
US
to America for a year.
Yeah.
It's part of moving.
Yeah.
You did not stay there long, but you stayed there.
Yes.
And people will always move, and always till life dies. We just need people to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, as like media, I think media and how everything sounds so loud nowadays in terms of migration, for example, in Spain, is a very big thing right now, migration. Well, and in the UK, of course, as well. And I feel it's because the countries and the culture is changing. But is it because of immigrants, or is it because we're just changing as people? And obviously technology, social media, you name it, has changed the way we are. I don't know. I think it's always easy to blame on one group or one, because if everything is going wrong here, it's very easy to say, which I agree, there's some sort of migrations which are not good and don't benefit the country. Don't quote me as you see, like for me, if you're moving, and again, for me, the term respect and hard work is very important.
Yes.
and that's why I think the first conception of people, yeah, he's an immigrant, might be bad, but as soon as they meet you and you are worth it, they're not gonna,
Yes, that's not the first thing that people see in you when they see you, because if you do your work well and if you're an hard worker, if you're respected, people don't see that. That's not the first thing they identify them.
Exactly.
That's not it. Now we want to do like a pop quiz,
Quiz.
not pop quiz, but like a little fun thing, because you're Spanish.
Okay.
I want to try this. I've not tried this before, so I'm going to just do and see how it works, guys.
Okay.
Please permit me. So it's going to be like a quick fun fire question, and you just say yes. You just answer it very quickly.
Yes or no, or I can.
No, you can talk. You can talk about it if you want to talk about it. Okay. You just say yeah. So we're going to compare the British way and the Spanish way.
Okay.
And see which one is the best way.
Okay. Well, probably it's going to be Spanish on 90%.
You have to be open-minded. You cannot discriminate.
No. Spain has many bad things as well.
Okay, queuing in silence or cutting with confidence. What will you do when you go to blank street? Will you queue in silence or will you cut the queue with confidence?
No, I queue.
You queue.
Again, respect. I'm very respectful. I hate when they cut me in line, unless it's an elder woman that, of course, or men that you let them, But no, I'm a very confident guy, but never skip a queue.
Okay, but in the Spanish way, do you cut the queues in Spanish?
Well, some of them are. Yeah. For example, I was last weekend in Budapest. We went to a nightclub, and so it was gonna end the promotion at certain time.
Yeah.
And literally all the Spanish people that obviously they were students and everything, cutting everyone in line, and the Hungarian people that were there were looking and I was like, sorry, I'm also Spanish, but I'm not part of this group, like everyone cutting in line. Yeah, I feel like in Spain we like a lot, and it's one of the reasons why I feel we're not thriving as we should, and it's the fact that people a lot of the times look for the easy way, and I really like that about this country. Obviously, let's not generalize everyone here, because I'm sure a lot of people skip the queues and want to be smarter than anyone else, but I feel like here people respect more that, not just the skipping queues where,
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one. Are you going to start the party at 11 p.m. or end the party at 11 p.m.?
We start the party at 11 p.m., but I prefer ending at 11 because you get better sleep and,
No, but there's no party like a night party. Why would you go to a party, to be fair? Now, since I've been to this country, now I get it. Yeah. Because 11 p.m. I want to be on my bed.
No, completely.
But the Nigerian way, we start the party at 11 p.m.
At 11 and finish at 7 in the morning, and that's 2 days out. That's 2 days of life that you've missed just by doing that.
But the Spanish way, what do you do?
I'm different. Yeah. I'm different because I hate people being late. It's something that I swear. And not late because I understand, but in Spain I think it's a competition to see who gets there the latest. And you meet up at 12, which is already late. Some people coming at 2 in the morning. Listen, I need to go home.
There's a like in Nigeria, there's an African time. When I tell you the party starts at 7 o'clock, you don't get there at 7, you get there at 11.
Well, I'm the kind of guy that gets at 5 to 7.
Why do you get it? If you invite you to a party at 5 to 7, and you get there that time, they're still decorating the place.
Yes, I know.
Like literally, they're still decorating.
Well, you can help them decorate. Put them your touch.
Okay, who complains more, British or Spanish?
Who complains more?
Who complains more? What do you think?
I think it's a difficult one, but Spanish, I would say, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, a lot of people complain a lot.
But in British, they complain. Weather, complain. Good weather, complain. Bad weather,
but it's
complain.
the main topic, It's a good way to start a conversation and break the ice, Look at the weather, it's horrible. That's the main,
Yeah. When I first came here and people were talking about the weather, I'm like, what the the weather? Like, Okay, tapas or Sunday roast?
I love a Sunday roast. This is the thing in tapas. It's like the concept, the way that they've like traduced Spanish food when I haven't, obviously sometimes I go and I have some tapas, but for us tapas is a small plate, which is the same as here, but they call tapas as if that's the Spanish food. We also have Sunday roast. It's not a Sunday roast, but you know, the way we do our thing, and it's a plate, you know, it's not small, different, 25 different plates. But yeah, obviously Spanish food is 1000% better
than British.
Well, I would say it's the best in the world, but I've been to Greece recently and it was very good as well, but yeah,
it's the best in the world. But have you tried all the food in the world? How many dishes have you tried? You got categorized as the best in the world.
I try. You know what? I want to try fufu. I always see, you know, people, and I've never tried it. I've never tried it in my life. I really want to.
I think you are aiming too high. Calm down.
Yeah.
I think you should start with jollof rice. Then you can gradually move to fufu.
Okay. You'll have to bring it one day.
Yes.
But yeah, Sunday roast is very good.
Yeah. Okay.
The best. English plate, I would say. Yeah.
It's the best. Okay. I tried it during in New Year, and that's the first time I'm trying Sunday roast. It wasn't.
Really?
Yeah, I have not tried it before, apart from this New Year, but it was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the gravy, the
good.
puddings.
Yeah. Okay, which accent is sexier, British or Spanish?
Well.
Don't. I've told you, do not discriminate. We do not discriminate on this podcast.
I would say Spanish, yeah, definitely.
How?
I don't like a Scouser accent.
Which one? Are you comparing the Macunian accent, the Scottish accent, the Southern accent? Which one? Because the Southern accent is very sexy.
Very sexy.
Have you heard the Southern one?
Yeah. The more you go to the north, the worse. I'd say, yeah, no, don't take me. Yeah, I love Scotland. It's my favorite part of the UK, but the accent is not the sexiest thing.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. My family, my uncle came to Manchester, and Matthew was like, why are people speaking strangely in Manchester?
Strangely.
Because she's Southern, and this is the first time she's been to Manchester. She's what's wrong with the Northern accent?
People,
What's wrong?
Well, but I wouldn't say Manchester is the worst.
Yeah,
because Manchester is so metropolitan and international that you get all sorts of accents. Yes, but Yorkshire has a very particular accent. When I was
don't
there.
want to,
No, half of the times you don't understand what they're saying. You just go with the yes.
I heard that the Liverpool people live Scottish. Is it the Scottish
accent?
Yeah.
I love it. I love how it sounds, but it's different, very different.
I've never been there before, so I need to go there just for the accent's sake.
But you've watched videos of people speaking in Scots, no?
Yes. Okay, this is the last one.
Okay.
Are you ready for this one?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Dust yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Who dresses better?
No, Spanish.
Really?
100%. No, that one I cannot be more. There's a lot of, and where I'm from as well, people like to dress very, very good. We have a lot of style, I would say. Yeah, definitely. That one is 100%. And I think everyone can agree with that. There's some English looks that are not the best. Don't quote me on that.
I will not say anything to that.
You agree with me, Mo, come on. Well, to be fair, you only see me, which I always wear the same clothes, but
to be fair, I think it's because the weather is very gloomy. And the thing about it is, when I first started working, I used to feel like, because the Nigerian way, Guillermo, a Nigerian will come out and wear, if you don't dress well, don't bother coming out.
Yeah.
That is the culture. We dress to kill.
How do you call them? The people that go with the suits, dandies? No, I don't know. There's but I don't know if it's in Nigeria or another African country that they go always with this colorful suits. Dandy? Yeah, I think it's called dandy.
I don't know. But anyways.
Well, I can see your style. You're always immaculate.
See?
Coming to work. No, I can't quote it. Like every time you come, different style. You can see you take a lot of effort to do it.
Yes.
But you do it good, which is important.
That is very important. How you look is very, very important. Before when I first started working, I felt like I didn't want to because everybody was wearing grey and white and brown and dark colors. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I started buying grey and dark and brown, but it wasn't me. So I went back. I went to go buy my Nigerian outfit. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear what I like.
Yeah, but I feel like women can have more, different. With men is more difficult. I don't know. I like wearing my normal shirts.
It's because you've lived there too long.
Yeah, maybe.
That's it.
And I don't like having a lot of clothes,
Okay, fair enough.
Better have less clothes just in case we
Fair.
have to escape quickly.
Fair enough. Okay, I have a last question. What is your dream, Guillermo?
Oh, my dream.
Yes, what is your dream?
Everyone has said to be happy, no? Well, to be happy, to make to build a family, I don't know. To be proud of myself. To be proud of myself, that's my dream. I am at the moment, but you can always be more proud. So.
Yeah, and to be famous or be,
No.
You don't want to be famous, okay?
No.
Happy and proud of yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
And let's stress to that.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Good wine.
Good, thank you. It's really nice. God, guys, don't mind me. I don't know. There's an inside joke why we're laughing, but I'm not gonna tell you today. Anyways, Guillermo came. Is Spanish, and we just wanted to see world from a different perspective, not the perspective of immigrants being a certain color. And Guillermo really came here, as an European immigrant. And I got some insights into how it feels and how the world looks like. And I hope you guys did too. So thank you guys for listening to this episode. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.